Welcome into the afternoon, Jay, here on Tuesday, April 20th.
Quite the debut date.
420 for you out there. Hopefully this has been a beautiful,
last week.
I mean,
Tale of Two Cities.
this is as good as it gets in South Louisiana. Every day right here, and I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no clouds in the sky,
No humidity
sunshine's
as of now.
out, no nice little wind.
I'm telling
This
you,
feels great.
Jack, you'll learn this about Jordy. If the weather's nice, he's just gonna have a good day. It's just, I don't know if it plays too much into your mood, but it does play a factor.
Plays a lot. Plays a lot. Home field advantage worth 3 points to gamblers. Weather for me about 6 points.
Yeah, changing the spread.
Yeah, absolutely. Can flip the can flip the game real quick. Speaking about flipping the game, how about Willie Wade and LSU? We got a couple of things that we're going to get to before we get out of here this afternoon. We want to give our thoughts on Will Wade picking up another transfer out of the portal, a nice one, as a Cincinnati freshman.
American Athletic Conference freshman All-American team.
Tari Eason, 4-star, Seattle. A guy that Will Wade was here a couple weeks ago, said defensive stopper was one of the top priorities for LSU in the offseason. Eason seems like he checks a couple of those boxes. We'll talk about him coming up here in a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about Zion. He had some comments the other night after his debut in Madison Square Garden as a pro. Not going to like it. Big Z was gushing all over MSG and the Big Apple. We'll talk about it. And something that Jack brought up this morning as we were getting off the air, the greatness of Wilt Chamberlain and how the generations past Chamberlain that never saw him play probably don't understand truly how great he was when you just start looking at some of the numbers and some of the stories that exist on Chamberlain. So it's a beautiful day here in South Louisiana. Compliments of Go Chevrolet here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, Nick Richard and Lee Carney, when you're shopping for new Chevrolets over at Go Chevrolet, you can find them. GEAUXChevrolet.com online. Newest used car lot over here in Baton Rouge is off of Florida Boulevard. That's Go Express Sales, the newest member of the Go Chevrolet family that is growing very fast. Yeah. So a big day for LSU basketball as they pick up Cincinnati freshman forward Tari Eason. Announced on his social media account that he was transferring after 1 year up at Cincinnati with the Bearcats, where, as Jack said, he was a part of the AAC all-freshman team after averaging just over 7 points, nearly 6 boards, and a steal per game. He also had a block per game, which ranked 4th in the conference. Wade told you that he wanted to get better defensively, specifically around the rim and around the glass. Eason does this immediately. He comes in very highly touted. He was a 4-star forward out of the Seattle area, spent last season over in Cincinnati, and as we said, made a huge impact with the Bearcat program. Cincinnati had, I believe, 6 players go into the portal. Eason was by far the best.
It's been a disaster since Mick Cronin left ever
Yes.
since. That program was actually fantastic while Cronin was there.
Oh, they had a great pipeline at Baton Rouge. Jacob Evans went to St. Michael. I mean, a guy that was a 3-year starter for him and ended up getting drafted by the Golden State Warriors. I mean, Cronin was running a fantastic program.
Just not a nice guy. That was his only...
Yeah, that was his deal.
And look at him. Look what he's got UCLA
seems like
doing.
he's kind of mellowed out
Yeah.
over in Los Angeles.
I mean, how can you blame him? 85 and sunny every day.
Yeah.
There you go.
For
The
sure.
weather factor,
and,
dude.
I mean, when it comes down to it, he's a really good coach.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that he controls the game from the sideline is pretty fascinating. But Will Wade gets a little bit bigger through the transfer portal as Tari Eason is the latest. You knew that they were going to have to try to make up ground with last week's news of Andre Hyatt and Jalen Cook They were making moves in the transfer portal, and now they pick up Eason after last week. Xavier Pinson, where's Adam Miller fit in to this? The transfer over at Illinois that seemed like LSU was trending in the right direction for. So
That'd be big.
This roster continues to take shape here in the offseason through the transfer portal, and Will Wade and his crew doing work as Tari Eason, the latest to jump aboard from Cincinnati. A fantastic get for LSU and the crew.
I'd say my takeaway, if you're going to make, this is for rivals, if you want to make some money, you start a rivals ranking for the transfer portal, just how you have the recruiting rankings right there.
Yeah.
Because that's the new thing.
Well, I mean, how many players are going to get left on the side that had a scholarship, thought they had a better opportunity somewhere else, and just don't fit in? I mean, 1,400 players, I don't know if there's that many spots that exist. So, I mean, some people are going to be left out in the cold wondering,
JUCO.
What did I do?
Could be
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there will be options, but I mean, you're talking about losing a full scholarship, a full ride scholarship for some of these guys that decided to get into the portal, and they don't have another home. So there will be some learning lessons from this initial push to getting into the transfer portal, but this is a absolute future of how this game is going to be recruited. I mean, this is definitely going to be something that coaches will have to dedicate time and resources to.
Yeah, and we're seeing it play out like right in front of us. Everybody's going to kind of learn at the same time. That's what I think is so interesting. Even the kids, like going into the portal, they don't really know what they're doing yet. Like they're going to go and they're going to explore the area, and you don't have to.
Oh, kids are still taking their finals
right
now,
and
you know?
and just by entering the portal, that doesn't mean you have to. You're not committed to anything. Like you can go back to your original team or what have you. But
it was a good bluff too on the coach.
Yeah. So I just think that it's going to be fascinating to see all this play out.
Yeah, it will be. I tell you what, there's breaking news right now.
That's why we do this.
That's coming in. That is huge. Dawson Odums is leaving Southern University. He's been the head coach there since 2012. He is taking the deal at Norfolk State. Dawson Odums, after being on the job at Southern for since 2012, is leaving the program to take the Norfolk State job. Odums is a North Carolina native. He's been Southern's head coach since 2012. As we said, he's got a record of 59-40. He's made the SWAC championship game 4 times. He won once in 2013. He is taking over a Norfolk State program which went 21-35 under former head coach Latrell Scott, who announced that he was stepping down in March. So Norfolk State did not play football last season due to the pandemic, but Dawson Odums, who has been a staple in our community and the head coach at Southern University since 2012, is taking another job. He's taking the Norfolk State job, and looks like he's going home. He's going back to North Carolina.
Back-to-back SWAC appearance, championship games. 2 losses, but back-to-back appearances. I covered the Jaguar Journal a little bit, so I got to know Dawson Odums a little bit. He would come on, so he had that thing kind of pointed in the right direction. For as much as
Norfolk State's in Virginia. My bad.
That was a good Google,
yes.
And we just assumed.
Yeah, I did.
Only way he'd leave Southern is to go home.
Only way, right?
Stone throw away.
Yeah, I mean he's right there, just right over the river, right?
Yeah, sure. Let's bust the map out.
Why not? So big news here on a Wednesday afternoon on 420. Dawson Odums taking the Norfolk State job, leaving Southern University after 9 seasons on the job.
I wonder if I'm glad that April Fool's isn't kind of like a 420 bit where they do leak stuff like this out, because I would totally get got just about every time.
I thought the Roy Williams was fake because he announced on April Fool's.
He did.
Roy Williams is no way. This can't be real.
And he just did it so suddenly.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke.
I wonder what the draw to the Southern job will be. I mean, we've seen now Eddie George be hired at Tennessee State. We've seen Deion Sanders be hired at Jackson State. I wonder what approach Roman Banks is going to take in, I would imagine, one of the most attractive SWAC jobs. I mean, when you just think of the status, the history, the alumni base. Now, the resources as of late have not been what they've been, but I think that Southern University still, you can put together a short list of names that you could probably go after just about anybody you want if the budget and the paycheck is right. So I wonder where Roman Banks is going to go to now that job is open for the first time since 2012. And this was a pretty easy transition into Dawson Odums from Pete Richardson, if I'm not mistaken. So this will be the first time that this job has kind of been real open for a while. As we said, that Dawson Odums moving on.
Not to put you on the spot, but do you know any Southern NFL alumni, anybody that would be interested? Because that's been what they've been doing. They've been from these schools that have been hiring. Yeah, they've been bringing people like Eddie George. Deion Sanders isn't necessarily a Jackson State alum.
I mean,
but
Eddie George is not a Tennessee State alum. Eddie George
went to Ohio State. Yeah, but I'm saying I guess I shouldn't have said alum, but people like that are interested in getting into coaches at historically black universities.
Yeah, Aeneas Williams.
That's the first one I saw.
Would be the first one that would pop to mind for me. Just who I would know. But I mean, if all of these former players that are interested in getting into coaching are available, then I don't know where the list really starts. Maybe people are calling Roman Banks and saying, hey, I'm interested. I mean, how much did the Tennessee State athletics director job or athletics director know that Eddie George would be interested in that job? Maybe he did. I mean, Eddie George lives in Nashville. Maybe he's got a relationship. Maybe he saw what Deion Sanders. I mean, I would say that Deion Sanders and these guys see the amount of money that is in coaching now and is probably saying, I can do this. I mean, I can do that. I can do that just as good as anyone. And, the big-time jobs are going to ask, you're going to have to go prove it somewhere. You're going to have to let us see that you can recruit. And
great marketing for your brand
it's an easy entry point for them. I mean, if Roman Banks gets calls today from people like Deion Sanders who are saying, I'm interested in the job, you have to seriously consider it. You've got to interview him. So, I mean...
Well, think about that. I'd put fans in the stadium.
100%.
Okay. Say Deion Sanders. I mean, here he is, a coach would say he's going to coach at Southern. I want to go see Deion Sanders coach.
Oh, but he's a draw in himself.
Yeah.
Deion is already a brand. So, and I think that's kind of what Eddie George is doing, too. He's got his own brand, especially in Tennessee, because he played for the Titans forever. That's what I was trying to see somebody Louisiana-ish that would come down and be interested. I don't know who's interested in coaching right now.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I know.
But the list is endless.
I know that Rohan Davey is a phenomenal 7-on-7 coach. Like, his reputation on that circuit has fastly become one of a. But I don't know how much that means to a college AD. If you want to think outside the box, I don't know. I think that this is going to be an interesting hire. I think that there's a couple of ways that Roman Banks can go here, and it'll be interesting to see which way he kind of he decides to approach this thing, because I think it'll be a very intriguing job to people out there. I think that people will absolutely be interested in what Southern could be, because I think and is right now. I mean, Dawson Odums did a phenomenal job of leading that program.
I mean, you would say one of the more recognizable SWAC schools, and I mean, probably one of the more recognizable brands throughout the country, huh?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. 100%. I mean, one of the most recognizable HBCU college is in the country.
I can only think Howard. That would probably be the
Howard, for sure.
Grambling.
I mean, Grambling's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, Grambling's up there. But yeah, I mean that I don't want to get too deep in a conversation that I don't really know that much about. But when you think of colleges that are historically mentioned alongside HBCUs, you always hear Southern University, always. So let's see. I was off on the on the football coaches as far as the transition between Richardson and Odums, as Odums. And Richardson stepped down in 2009. So Odums has been there since 2012, and he's moving on to Norfolk State. So
kind of a shock.
Yeah,
kind of a shock.
It is. I mean, somebody that's just kind of always felt very stable in that position. But as we said, I mean, there's you can never talk to or criticize anybody for going home, or at least closer
to home.
Yeah, closer to home.
So, in the words of stability, what about Zion? Is he going to be stable in New Orleans?
It doesn't seem so.
That was
Zion.
shocking.
I don't know if anybody. I mean, if you haven't seen this yet, but Zion's comments the other night after his pro debut in Madison Square Garden was. I mean, if you're out with your girl and she sees somebody that she knows likes her, or that may have been interested in her.
Used to talk to me in high school.
Yeah, it used to send her text messages.
Dude, not only that, it's like going over to your buddy's house, and she's like, I really like this guy's house.
Ready
like,
as the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah. It's
and
like,
you just leave, and she is just being like,
enamored.
He is hot. I mean, he is phenomenal. If we don't ever work out, I mean, I hope we do, but if we don't, I'm definitely going to be heading over there. It's like, I mean, Zion the other night, some of the comments was just the smiling, the laughing. I mean, everything about it was just, come get me.
Save me.
The full quote on Williamson, here it is after another dominant night on the NBA hardwood, 34 points, 9 boards, 5 assists as the Pelicans fell to the Knicks as Lonzo Ball gave up a corner 3 in which Stan Van Gundy criticized and said that a high school player would know what to do in that situation. That Ball let them down. But then
Stan has been lashing out.
He has. And I kind of like that about
him. Young team.
Yeah, you got to just kind of teach them through the media, man. Just discipline through the media. If you're not going to listen to me privately, then maybe you'll listen to me publicly. So Zion goes out the other night, and as Jack said, just flying all over the place, yakking them down in Madison Square Garden, people going nuts. 34, 9, and 5 for the former number 1 pick. And then afterwards, he gets asked a question about his debut in Madison Square Garden, and Williamson sits back and cracks just this $25 million smile. I mean, if you're looking at this guy from a marketing standpoint, you're saying, hey, give me that smile that night in New York when the guy asked you about playing in MSG. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just a ear-to-ear, sat back, thought about it, loved it, came back to the microphone and said this. I'm glad you asked that, actually. New York is the mecca of basketball. I love playing here. I played here in college, and this is my first time playing here in the pros. This atmosphere, whether they're cheering for you, whether they're booing for you, it's amazing. Honestly, I think outside of New Orleans, obviously, I think this might be my favorite place to play outside of New Orleans. I can't lie to you. I mean, and it was a lot more dramatic than that. It was a lot more passionate.
Heartfelt.
Than I just read it. It was as if he was saying, come get me. Make a move.
I'll take the route because it's so